Hey yo, welcome back. Random show episode number 88. Big up the chat is saying I'm back on the kit. How dare you, man? I've been clean living. You can tell by look at my face. I've been clean living. But yeah, big up the chat is saying I'm back on the kit. That is extremely rude, extremely inaccurate, and you guys are lying on my name. Lying on my name, lying on my name. But of course I'm late as per usual. Apologies for that. You know the vibes. Standard. Honestly, if I'm back on the kit, I just won't turn up. You guys know what time it is with me. If I schedule a stream and I don't turn up, I'm back on the kit. It's easy to know. It's easy to tell. If I schedule a stream and I don't show up, you know where I'm at. But if I schedule I'm late, I'm just late. You know what I mean? It's just it. It's just I'm late. But there's no kit involved today. No kit involved today. Okay? Am I stuttering a bit? Looks like I'm stuttering, isn't it? Looks like I'm stuttering a little bit, doesn't it? Does it come stuttering? It looks like I'm stuttering. Doesn't say I'm dropping frames though, but it looks like I'm stuttering slightly. Or am I bugging out? Am I stuttering? Let me just double check here. Looks like I'm buffering a bit. Let's see if I can change this. Hopefully I can. I did edit the settings a little bit today, so maybe I made a mistake. Uh-oh. Can you edit the settings while you're streaming? I bet you can't. I bet you can't. Oh, you can't, can you? Fuck, I'm stuttering a little bit, aren't I? Am I stuttering or am I bugging out? Not a numbers B. Looks like autofocusing. Okay, cool. But I thought I was stuttering a little bit, like but it looks alright, doesn't it? It looks passable. Easy, I'll save you coming through again. Cool. Well, people say I'm stuttering. People say I'm stuttering. No, you're good, B. Wells, Bargo say I'm stuttering. You're stuttering a little, not much. I'm stuttering a little, not much. Yeah. Looks like I'm missing my teeth there, doesn't it? Alright. It's mad. It looks like I got growth. That's one thing I'm gonna get actually. When I get the good peas, I'm gonna go Turkey and get myself some hip hop teeth. Do you know what I mean? I'm gonna get myself some big fake chompers, some massive pearly white ones, super like big. I'm gonna get those massive ones. Watch, I'm gonna get those big fake teeth, and when I get those fake teeth, I'm gonna come back on stream and nothing happened. I'm gonna pretend like they're always there. People ask me questions of, what do you mean? What teeth? Well, these ones. I've had all my life. I won't acknowledge it one bit. I won't ever acknowledge it. But yeah, am I stuttering or am I looking? Okay. Am I stuttering or am I not? Okay, if I do stutter and I look a bit too crazy, please tell me and I'll just restart the stream because I don't want to continue on if it's too bad. But we'll just continue as is. But if it gets crazy, let me know and I'll restart the stream because I don't want it to be crappy the whole way through. Do you know what I mean? So let me know if it is rubbish and I'll start it again and go back again, alright? Go back again. But yeah, big up everybody. Welcome back to the Random Show, episode number 88. Episode number 88. Oh, I'm kind of weird with this. Monitors, shall I use these or not? Actually, I think I'm gonna switch to headphones. Let me just put these on. Let's switch to the regular headphones because those things are a little bit, they're fancy, but I was trying to copy your mum's house by having the in-ear monitors, but it just felt weird. They're like, they're Callen. Those earphones were Bryan Callening my flipping, my my ears. If you know, you know. Those earphones were doing a Bryan Callen to my ears. But anyway, we're back. Episode number 88 of the Random Show with your host, AgostinhoZinga. We have a jam-packed schedule and topics to run through today. You see the topics in the description. If you don't know, I'm trying to be organized now, so I have the topics listed in the description. So if you want to have a play-by-play of what I'm going to cover, please check the description, which is underneath this video, and you'll see what I'm going to be talking about. It's not in order, but it'll give you a brief overview of what I'm going to be covering throughout the show. This is where I talk about random stuff, no cultural commentary. So if you hate fashion, if you hate DJ talk, if you hate trainer talk, this is the place to be. All that stuff is going to be part of the way to the AgostinhoZinga show, and this is only for comedy and lols and culture, and not cultural stuff, but funny stuff we see online. Hence the name, the random show. Loads of random things, loads of random topics. We're going to move at a breakneck speed. We're going to be doing watch-alongs. We're going to be seeing clips. We're going to be talking. We're going to be laughing. We're going to be ha-haing. And it's going to be so much fun. So if along the way, if you enjoy yourself and you like what you hear and you resonate with it and it kind of speaks to you in some way, do me a favor and smash the like button. That's all I ask. Even if you don't like it, downvote too. All engagement is good engagement. You know what I mean? All attention is good attention. Doesn't matter what it is. Even if you're heckling me, you're throwing watermelons at me, you're chasing me down the street with fried chicken, regardless of what you're doing, all attention is good attention. I love it all. So bring it my way. Bring it my way, please. Okay. So first things first. Let's get on this talk because I want to know, have you ever been in this position? Have you ever been in this position in your entire life? I've never have been. I think mainly because I'm a big PUSSY, but usually whenever I'm on a plane, whenever I'm in an airport, I'm very submissive. I just obey the rules. I go where I'm told. I do what I'm told. And I always arrive on time, right? I try not to get there late. I always do things by the book. And even when I'm on the plane and things are going bad and someone's being annoying, the baby's crying, it's just a part of what it's just a part of the process, a part of where you're at. You can't really control anything around you. All you can do is kind of remain still, remain peaceful. And if anything, try and focus your mind away from the screaming baby or somebody being annoying on the phone or speaking too loud. Just forget about it because you've nothing you can do to stop it anyway. So just shut the hell up and focus and just get where you need to get to safely. And you're like, where are you, 20,000 miles up above the air and whatnot? It's just not a place to get angry, get annoyed. But some people have this weird notion that somehow their time is more important than anyone else's time on an airplane. And there's no better example of it than when you land and you have to get your stuff out of the flipping overhead bins and whatnot. Obviously, sometimes it can be annoying because the people in front of you take flipping ages, but it's just part of the game. For whatever reason, this lady felt very annoyed, and I can kind of understand her reasoning because according to the description, she was late for a connecting flight. So I can understand what she's kind of getting at, but this level of frustration and rudeness and whatever she's doing is just so weird to me. I want to know, guys in the chat, have you ever done something like this similar? Because I can never imagine doing this in my life.
Doesn't matter, you have an hour, it's not that hard. Believe me. I'm not gonna have you make all these other people get mad. Now call over to that gate and I won't let you get on the plane if you don't settle down.
I think you don't understand.
I understand, I live here, I work here, I know how big the airport is.
Yes.
Do you live here?
Do you also know that our flight was cancelled twice?
Well, I don't know about that one, but I know this one's leaving at 4 o'clock. It's 3 o'clock, you have 1 hour to get there. And if you don't settle down, I'm going to have somebody take you off this aircraft, but it's not going to be going to your next one. You understand me? You're not the only people on this aircraft.
Holy smokes, mate. He was not having it in the slightest. God damn. Well done to him. But yeah, to be fair anyway, when you're having a connecting flight, I've done it a couple of times. Yeah, when I went to Nicaragua, I had like 3 connecting flights. I think I had 1 flight into Toronto, then I had another flight into like Atlanta, and then another flight, I think Atlanta, yeah, and then another flight into Nicaragua. So I had like 3 changeovers. But usually what they do is that they usually, I don't know how they calculate it, it's pretty cool, but there's always enough time to get to the other place. Because I think for the most part, I think the only place where I took my luggage was maybe Canada to like Atlanta, but for the most part, they're already taking your luggage in the connecting flight. So they usually give you time to get there. There's usually a good kind of window to get there, usually an hour or something around that kind of mark. So it's unlikely you're going to get there late unless you flipping break your leg on the way there or something. So the rush is really unnecessary. But then, she did make a point that she was more frustrated because she had 2 previous flights that were cancelled. But still, in my experience, I don't understand why people are like this. In my experience, when it comes to dealing with anybody working in the service industry, if you just approach them with kindness, like if she would have said, excuse me, I'm really in a tight spot, like just, I've had this emergency, 2 flights were cancelled and I'm really at my wit's end, I really need to visit my family, whatever it may be, and just explained it in a nice, caring, cool, chill manner, you'll be fine. They usually help you out. But when you start to approach people that work in airline, especially with airline people, I feel like airline people encounter a lot of CUNTs, right? Day to day. If that's the facts, then usually they're quite adept at handling people that approach them with rudeness. So they would definitely give you a dressing down if you try to approach them in any kind of, you know, big chested, I'm going to tell you what's what kind of way. They're not going to take it too kindly. But if you approach them with kindness, I think because they usually interact with quite a lot of people who aren't the most kindness, when you do approach them with kindness, they're probably going to be more open to helping you out. That's just my theory. But I really don't understand people who get into airports, who get into airplanes and are ready to beef. I don't get it. It's just wild to me. It's wild in any way, shape possible. I know it's annoying getting off the plane, people taking ages, people putting their bags over there and then reaching back and then just, or finally waking up when the flipping plane is about to get off. I understand it's all annoying, but you need to relax. You need to relax. I don't get people that beef. It's never made sense to me in the slightest, and I think those people are weirdos. That's just my personal opinion. I think they're absolute weirdos, people that beef on the plane. But hey, what do I know? What do I know? Anyway, next one. What's quickly saying here in chat? One time, we're just saying one time this guy fed me 3 vodka sodas the entire flight. It's not that hard to be chill. Exactly. You usually get hooked up. Usually get hooked up as well. But I understand her point too. She was really a bit frustrated and clearly a little bit frantic because she had 2 cancelled flights before. But again, that's not his issue. Do you know what I mean? You just need to relax and take it easy, babes, and everything's gonna work out fine for ya. You get me? You get me? Let me get this out. Let me pop this out. Pop out chat, so I can put this over here. Actually, this might be good. Okay, let's put this over there. Or should I put this over here? Maybe I'll put this over here. But 1 second. Get this over there. Let's put this. Can we move this so I don't see that there? Can we hide the chat? Is that possible? Can we hide the chat? Oh no, I don't want that. Bear with me a sec. Okay, cool. Razor raw. So we got that one out the way. Do 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 do. What's this do? Okay, cool. Anyway, cool. So next one on the list. I'm new here. Any steel toe morning show coverage? Nah, man. Fuck those guys, man. That show's fucking trash. Trash. That main guy that hosts it is an absolute muppet. Yeah, not a fan at all. They were people that were making apologies for flipping from fucking DSP. So I said Uche, I saw her name. Yeah, I'm not a fan of steel toe show at all, man. Those guys are fucking the worst. Not a fan at all. So those kind of guys that are like, I don't know what that kind of style of show is where they kind of treat it like a radio show. Like, what is that thing? What's that style from? Is that like what's it called? Is that like, what's that guy? Do you know what I'm talking about though? Like all that stuttering Craig guy. What's that style? Is it a style that they have where they try to it's like a radio show? I don't know how to call it, man. It's just fucking lame. It's just like all these older dudes. Yeah, that's it. Opie, yeah, it's Opie and that. Yeah, Morning Zoo, exactly. They're trying to get Opie and Anthony. They're trying to copy that kind of thing, right? And it just seems very dated. I don't know. Nah, not for me anyway. And again, maybe to be fair to them, I'm not their demographic. You know what I mean, I'm not gonna listen to fucking Opie and Anthony and shit. I'm not listening to fucking Stuttering Craig or, you know, Morning Toe Jam or something, or, you know what I mean? Like even fucking I used to listen to fucking I used to watch a little bit of Revenge of the Sis for a bit, but even that got a little bit too much, innit? They're just a little bit, you know what I mean? They're not really my guys, you know what I mean? They're a little bit like, you know, a little bit funny style, so I had to kind of like jump off of it. It's hard to get into that sort of stuff. I don't know, man. It's a bit weird. Like, yeah, you're now tuned in. Welcome to tuning into the Random Show, and I'm happy to be here with you, lovely people. We have Goals and Effects, and I was what? Get out of here! Get out of here! Anyway, like drinking whiskey on the stream, smoking cigarettes. Ooh, bad boy! It's like, what is this? Absolute losers! I swear to God. Oh. honestly, man, these guys out here thinking they're flipping these guys out here thinking they're what's it called it? Who's that guy that died? They think they're that guy, innit? Who's that controversial politician guy that died with the white hair? He's always shout and scream. He was like a He was like a right wing Alex Jones. Really funny. He said crazy shit. He had like a gold mic. What's his name? You guys know what I'm talking about? They try to think he's like, but he was like an actual radio star. Like he was like an actual legit star. You might not agree with what he has to say, but he's a legend in the game. Don Imus? Maybe it's Don Imus. He had like a gold mic. Very controversial. I think he died of like cancer or something recently. Fuck, I forgot his name. Doesn't matter anyway. Anyway, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. That's it. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh. That's it. Yeah, Rush Limbaugh. Them guys think they're Rush Limbaugh. They think they're like he's a radio pro. But he's not really Rush Limbaugh right here. I'm sorry, man. That guy was syndicated and shit. Do you know what I mean? He had flipping people doing, death threats to him and whatnot. Anyway, moving on. So, I saw this headline and I was laughing my head off, man. Ron DeSantis lost a bunch of weight and started losing his mind. This is hilarious. Did he actually say this? Ron DeSantis is fucking nuts. Look at what he said. Florida's Ron DeSantis invited to visit after territorial dispute remarks. He called the war in Ukraine a territorial dispute. Yo, that is that is a very interesting way of describing a war that's killed thousands and probably millions of people soon. He says here, Mr. DeSantis is widely expected to run president in 2024 and made his remarks in response to the questions sent to possible Republican contenders. The former congressman said that the United States support of Ukraine was not among the country's vital national interest, which is debatable. The comment signaled he would probably scale back aid if he became president. He also aligned with DeSantis with former President Donald Trump and a leading contender. Their comments showed the divide between the Republican Party between isolationists who are skeptical of providing military aid. In response to the questionnaire by Fox News anchor Tucker Carlson, Ron DeSantis says, while the U.S. has many vital national interests, becoming further entangled with a territorial dispute between Ukraine and Russia is not one of them. Territorial dispute. Didn't Russia start the war with Ukraine? Like, honestly, like, this Ron DeSantis guy is fucking legendary. Oh my god, mate. Territorial dispute is the understatement of the century. Maybe, innit? Like, territorial. That's like describing COVID as like a cold. Like, COVID, the pandemic was a mild cold. But how about all those people that died? Did they die of mild colds? Or did they die of a virus, a lab-borne virus? I don't know, man. I know some people might agree it's a territorial, but it's just, I don't know. That phrasing of territorial dispute is absolutely hilarious, man. What an insane thing to say. Oh, shit. Ron DeSantis is 44 years old. Yo, he looks way older than 44, innit? God damn, politics ages you. That man is 44. Don't get me wrong, he's got a good head of hair on him. Bit of a fake tan, but god damn. He looks old as fuck. He looks like he's in his 50s. Shit. Okay, I didn't know that. He's 44. Shit. Alright, cool. Well, anyway, DeSantis thinks the war in Ukraine is a territorial dispute, which is absolutely hilarious. I absolutely love that for him. I love that for him. I really do. Next on the list. This is flipping awesome, innit? This is really, really, really cool. I just found this out recently because I watched an episode of Dave Portnoy on Impulsive Podcast. Barstool Sports have been fully acquired by Penn Entertainment, which paid $388 million for it. $388 million. Oh my god. Barstool Sports is now fully owned by casino operator and entertainment company Penn Entertainment, which Friday completed its previously announced acquisition of the property. Penn said it paid $388 million for 64% stake of Barstool and did not already own. In January 2020, Penn Entertainment, then known as Penn Gambling, paid $163 million for 36% of Barstool Sports. Oh, this is why they put that number at 600 million, because they already paid 163. Okay, cool. With previous owner Charin Group left with the same percentage stake. Barstool founder Dave Portnoy had sold majority control of Barstool to Peter Charin and Charin Group in 2016. That initial agreement included a path for Penn to establish full control ownership of Barstool Sports. Founded in 2003, the sports agent gambler. And the comment here from the company says, We're extremely pleased to welcome Barstool Sports fully independent entertainment in family. Barstool has proven the powerful media brand with authentic voice and vast loyal audience that provides us with a strong top of the funnel for new customer acquisition and organic cross-selling opportunities across our growing interactive division. I love business talk, innit? Business talk is so sexy, right? All this stuff, top of the funnel, new customer acquisition, organic cross-selling opportunities. Oh, the AgostinhoZinga show is kind of like top of the funnel. This is kind of random shows like cross-selling opportunities. Portnoy said in the statement, Barstool Sports is bigger than ever and has become more than I ever dreamed of. I'm very thankful for the Barstool team and stories who have been along with the ride. I'm looking forward to this next chapter of Penn. Man, this is flipping good, man. This is how you run a business and a network. Brendan Schaub and Adam22 could never. Brendan Schaub and Adam22 could never. And what I find interesting about this sale and just Barstool Sports overall as a business is that Dave Portnoy is quite a divisive figure. He's quite, like, people don't really like Dave Portnoy. He's got his fans and his loyalists, but there's a whole contingency of the media and people online who do everything in their power to try and bring that guy down and cancel him. And he says some racy stuff, he says some, you know, controversial things, but still he's able to be a good boss. Like, people like working for him. He obviously has fallouts with people, but for the most part, they really like working for Barstool, and they don't mind working underneath Dave Portnoy. He has something about him where he's able to operate. It's kind of a rare ability. He's able to be the face of the brand. He's able to be like a kind of an influencer, but not really, and also be a really good businessman and a people's person, which is kind of rare combination to have all in one person. But he's also very, very unlikable. You know, like, he's got that kind of bit, because I think a lot of those guys, like asshole dudes, you know, in business, probably look at Portnoy and think, oh, I can just be like him and be successful. But some of them can't. Like Brendan being a good example. Like, he probably thinks him and Dave Portnoy would get along and they'd be cool, but they're not really the same. I don't know. It's hard to really like put a finger on it, but big up Dave Portnoy, man. It's flipping amazing. And the really thing I love about it the most is that he's made everybody what I love about Barstool Sports is this. I love the fact that there's so many shows on there that I don't even listen to. Loads of shows on there that have their own dedicated little fan bases, and they don't ever try to like force one to be bigger than the other or try and push them to do some things. If they probably have a minimum bar they have to kind of cross over in terms of listeners and what, but you just let them do what they want. They've got these girl shows I don't listen to. They've got the Dave Portnoy one where he's talking to those two TikTokers. That's pretty interesting. I think it's a BFF one. They've got obviously KFC on there. They've got so many alumni that have kind of passed through their doors as well. They're just a really cool way of kind of fostering talent. And then you sprinkle in like $1 million worth of game that's like more of a hip-hoppy type of show, and that just does, and they're just allowed to do their own thing. I think it's cool how he created that whole like network, and they actually kind of, you know, do their own vibe and whatever it may be, and he's cashed out. And I also like the fact that he's made his day ones rich. I think that goes a long way. And there's a little clip I'll play for you, taken from, what's the guy's name again? Taken from KFC Radio, where Kevin Clancy talks about, you know, essentially the deal and the sale and how that's going to change his life. And it's really cool to see that the guys that started with Dave Portnoy are still there. They don't have a bad word to say about the guy. They may have their differences and fallings out, but for the most part, they're still there along with the ride, and they get rewarded monetarily. Not opportunities, not this, not that, not cosigns, not follows and double taps, with cold, hard cash. And that's flipping amazing. Being able to put some money in your friend's pockets is one of the greatest. Like, I remember, this is a very small example, but when I used to promote nightclubs, so when I used to promote and do like club nights and stuff and parties and whatnot, one of the things I used to always love was paying my friends to DJ, paying my friends to DJ, paying my friends to design flyers, like all that stuff, paying my friends to could be on a door. It's nice to put money in your friends' pockets and not just use them, you know, for free. Like, if you got a friend that's a flipping plumber and shit, pay your friend that's a plumber. Don't buy them a fucking bottle of wine or something or invite them for dinner. No, even if it's like mates rates, pay them the money. It goes a long way to kind of solidifying your friendship and also respecting their time. Because I hate people do that. They just expect, oh, because you're my friend, I'm going to give you for free. No, give them money. Not a bottle of wine, not a bottle of beer, not a meal. No one needs that. Put money in their flipping hands. And this is cool that their point is on the same thing.
This is all to come back to people asking me how did it like happen. People said, like, did you just, like, at midnight, does the number in your bank account just change, or do you get an alert or whatever? When the money came in, I didn't know my username to log in to the account. Are you ready for and kind of catch people up on everything that's gone on, because obviously major life changes. So if you are an OG fan, I'm sure you'll probably be interested in some of this inside Barstool stuff. If you're a new fan, maybe not so much, or maybe you'll get caught up to speed. We also have Whitney Cummings on the show on the back half. One of the wildest interviews I think I've ever done. To say that Whitney came in hot is a gross understatement. I mean, she was ripping. She threw a drink in my face. We were arguing. We were fighting. We talked like sex, drugs, and rock and roll. It was wild. So we love Whitney. She's got a million projects coming out. So that's the second half of the show. First half of the show, I figured the pen stuff all happened a couple weeks ago, and a lot of people were asking me questions about everything then, and I kind of waited for the dust to settle a little bit before I did anything. Originally, I was going to write a blog, because that's kind of the way I made my name, and still to this day, what I think that I'm best at. However, I decided it was probably best to not be speaking about such topics in writing, because I've already gotten a call from my lawyer. He calls me on Saturday morning, or Sunday morning, whatever, over the weekend at some point, because I have not heard anything on any front about my...
Yeah, Caseload Moses, we're not listening to no Whitney Cummings interviews around here, man. No way. Unless you guys, champion it and I should watch it, I'm not watching it of my free will. If you guys say so, I'm at your service. Fair enough. But me, personally...
money and equity and anything vesting, and I was just gonna leave it as it is. Let sleeping dogs lie. And I get a call on like Sunday morning, Saturday morning, and I pick up the phone, and I was like, I've been waiting for this call.
Big up.
And my lawyer immediately launches into basically like a stand-up routine, like several minutes before he gets to the punchline, which was basically, basically saying, in another lifetime, next time you do this, maybe don't go on social media and start talking about all the money you just received if you have if you are a divorced person. And I said, touche, sir, touche. But at the same time, this is why that money was even possible for me, because we've always just kind of been an open book here and talked about the crazy shit that goes on in life. It's weird because it started out as a show that is, it worked because we were always honest and open books about what we were going through, and it was all very, very relatable because it was just regular guys going through life, and that every guy and girl who goes through it as well can relate to what we're saying. And now we're getting to a point where it's not so much more relatable anymore. I'm obviously very lucky and blessed, but I'm hoping that at least there's like a level of like intrigue, and for the people who were along for the ride from day one, I almost hope you feel like a level of accomplishment in your own right, of like, when you're a fan of something from the beginning and you see it all the way through.
Anyway, you get it. I think he's got that rich man glow. He's just not really figuring out his words, but you get it. He's made a lot of money. I'm happy for him. I'm also good to see that there is good business happening in this entertainment podcasting space, because this Adam 22 No Jumper stuff has really, really annoyed me. Just because of just the unnecessary, rudeness and lack of empathy and stuff. And just, it makes it seem as if like everybody is really shady. And I don't think that's true. I think good business does exist in this space. You just need to be, I don't know, you just need to be a decent human being. And unfortunately, for some reason, I think I've said it before in this podcast, sometimes the worst people make it to the very, very top. Like they become extremely successful monetarily, materially, maybe not rich in spirit and whatnot. Cool, but the things that most people want, like fast cars, big houses, women with fake tits and bums, they all get that stuff for some reason, even though they have disgustingly horrible personalities and they treat people like crap. And you can sometimes think, oh, okay, cool, that's how everyone should be. That's how you maybe need a bit of that. But now, sometimes you look at it, and Dave Poynter being a good example. Like I said, Dave Poynter is a very divisive figure. He has traits about him that are very unlikable. But I think you should always judge people on how other people view them. And the fact that most of Dave Poynter's crew have been the same ones that have been there when Barstool Sports was run out of one room, right? And they had no offices and they just had a room where people were working literally in cupboards and shit, and they were handing out physical papers, and they're still there. It says a lot more about him than it does say about, you know, whatever else. And he's definitely been doing business the right way. And the fact that he's made his day ones millionaires, you can't hate that. No matter what he says, no matter what he makes comments online, the fact that he's made his day one people millionaires is absolutely cool. I loved it. I loved it. But yeah, let's go. Yeah, exactly. We should saying, yeah, Moist Critical. Yeah, exactly. Moist Critical is another one, a really good one. I like all these guys, man. They're flipping amazing. Oh, hey, big up Raichi. Yes. Appreciate
You're a legend in the USA.
Appreciate you, Richie Ricey. Appreciate you. You're a flipping legend. Thank you so much for that, man. You have to do that. You're a legend. Thank you so much. I appreciate you as always for the love and support, my friend. Thank you. You shall be contributing to the Beer and Ket Fund. This weekend's gonna be crazy. But yeah, let's continue. Oh my god, man. Should I play the Moist Critical clip where he pulls out? No, I'm gonna get taken off here, innit? That Moist Critical clip where he pulls out the flipping... Oh yeah, the Moist Critical clip where he clarifies that it's not a clip, it's a mag. That guy is really good at content. He's one of the people I look at in terms of doing this stuff, like solo on a camera. He's one of the people I look at. My people who I look at in terms of understanding how to kind of keep the viewers entertained is Bill Burr and Moist Critical. They're my two number ones I look at in terms of how to keep people entertained, because they're just so good at this. Bill Burr and Moist Critical are so good at this shit. And sometimes Tim Dillon as well. That kind of solo podcast rant type of thing is absolutely incredible. I love those two guys, man. But yeah, anyway. Okay. Let's go. Because we have to because my memory is fresh, right? Bert Kreischer special, Razzle Dazzle. This is my review. I have to be honest and say full transparency. I only made it to about 45 minutes. I couldn't finish the whole 1 hour 5 minutes. I think of it. Yeah, 1 hour 5 minutes. 1 hour 5 minutes. Is it 1 hour 5? Was it 1 hour 5? No, actually, it wasn't. I made it to 41 minutes. Okay? There, I made it to 41 minutes, around there. As you can see, there's proof right there. 41 minutes, right? Okay, let's start off with the good. The good things I like about it, it was really well shot. The sound was amazing, audio-wise. Very well produced, clearly. I like some of the camera shots, really nice. I like that they didn't do too many of the cringy crowd things of people like, like cutting from different things. I also like the fact that there was no like cringy like walkthrough. Like he didn't do that cringy stuff that people do where they kind of pretend like they're fighters, like Schultz with the flipping Bruce Buffer. There was no cringy him in a car or something. It was just straight into the comedy theatre. It's just straight into the theatre as he performed. I thought that was quite cool. And then I also, I'm going to be honest here. This is my honest opinion. I also didn't mind the shirt thing, because usually he's always got a t-shirt that he takes off, but he's got a really funny way. He takes it off all in one swoop, whatever. But I didn't mind the button-up t-shirt opening with the diamonds all over it, right? Like with the things. And it popped off, and then he kind of starts doing his special. Cool. But I quickly realized that I don't think I'm a fan of like storytelling comedians, because I guess it's kind of hard, because you have to kind of give it, you have to kind of like them or give a fuck about their lifestyle for you to be impressed or for you to be engaged in their stories. And because Bert, essentially all of his stories revolve around his wife being dumb, his daughters being dumb, and him drinking a lot and having fun, it's hard to really be invested in it. You know what I mean? Like, it's hard to get it. And maybe people on here will call me a bit of a cuck and stuff and say I'm being I don't know, a male feminist or something, but I've always really felt uneasy about all these comedians who are like really outwardly disrespecting their like partners all the time. Like this idea that they all hate their wives and their, you know, girlfriends, and that their kids are a nuisance and they don't like to be at home and they always want to be on the road. It's just very tasteless, I think. It kind of lacks class to be talking about your, you know, significant others and your family members like that, or even painting out your extended family members to be like people that lack sense and that are dumb and other civilians, they don't understand it. It just feels like a little bit of a contempt for people nearest and near you who are kind of essential part of your being successful. Because if you're a comedian and you've got kids and stuff and you've got a partner at home, them raising the children and you being able to be on road, to be performing all the time, is an integral part of you being successful also, because you can fully concentrate on your show, because you know back home he or she is handling business and looking after the kids and keeping them fed and whatnot and making sure that they're flipping alive and whatnot. I just find that kind of overly, oh, let's take the piss out of the partners that we have and they're no good and they're all this stuff. I'm looking for a sec. I just don't know. I just find it so weird, personally, for me. I just never really liked it. So I was going into it with a bit of a bias, because I've always been a little bit uneasy about that, especially when it comes to Bert, because his kids are like teenagers. And it feels like maybe they've had a conversation anyway. He's spoke to his kids like, you know what, I'm going to involve you with my shows. But I feel like they kind of have no choice. Like if they want to like go to private school, if they want to go to better university, it's basically giving them no choice. Like if you want all this life, if you want to have a Mercedes when you're 18, you have to allow me to talk about your periods. You have to let me talk about the, you know, I don't know, God forbid, when they lose their virginity or something. Like, it's just weird to me personally. And the fact that he makes his wife sound like an absolute dum-dum, when if you actually listen to the podcast and hear her speak when she comes on, Leanne Kreischer is like super sharp, super like aware, super on it. It makes you actually question like how the fuck Bert even got her, because she seems to be a really decent, kind of even killed woman. Like, how does she end up with this like functioning alcoholic? You know what I mean? Anyway, so that's where I started from. But then the jokes, bruh. I felt like the biggest applause breaks he got in that special were like him saying he's the machine, or like in a bit, he's got a bit that someone says in the crowd, he's the machine. And then another break that he got that was really, that kind of got a lot of response, was him mentioning Tom Segura's name. I don't like this trend. I don't like this trend of comedians within that JRE extended universe name dropping their other podcast comedian friends to get easy laughs and cheers. I feel that's extremely hacky. My good friend Joe Rogan, I was on this guy's podcast. You might know him. His name's Joe Rogan. One of my best friends, Tom, he can't really jump, and he did that whole handbraking thing. I was like, yuck. But to be honest, that might have been the best joke. I think that is like it's like a throwaway line, but he basically mentions how Tom can't do simple things like jump. If he does that, then he breaks his arm or something along those kind of lines. And I thought that was actually the best one, and legitimately made me laugh. But I didn't laugh once, like properly, like from the belly, for those entire 40 minutes. I had a smile on my face because he was telling, I don't know, stories that seemed a bit gross, but then ended up to be quite charming at the end. But it felt uneasy. And this is something also I have to mention as well, just to kind of put at the end of here. There's something kind of repulsive about seeing a man that looks like Bert Kreischer on stage without no top on. I'm sorry, it just is. It's just what it is. it's impossible to focus on it. Like, it's really hard to focus on the comedy when you're seeing the crevice of his belly like hanging over his belt, like, you know, and you're thinking, is the belly hard? Is it soft? You're thinking, does it smell like Tito's? Does it smell like Heineken? Like, what's a whiff? Yeah, I mean, like, that's what you're thinking of straight away. Like, the chain around his neck, it's like it's getting swallowed by all these neck fat rolls. You can't even see the chain anymore too much. Like, it's just really difficult to focus on the comedy when he's standing there on stage with no top on. It's so bizarre. Like, especially at his big age, like, surely at some point, there has to come a point where he just kind of gives it up. There has to come a point where he gives up the t-shirt thing, because it's so weird. Like, and I know it's an easy applause thing to get, and it's hard to maybe take it away, especially if it's doing well for you. But I don't know, man. I don't know. I find it hard to focus. And then to end it review-wise, I think these guys are all, without exception, having watched all their podcasts, without exception, they're all extremely funny on pods, but I feel like they lack that sparkle on stage. And I was thinking to myself this, right? Is it because they're overexposed? Is it because Bert Kreischer podcasts like what, 3 to 4 times a week, plus whatever guest shows that he's on, always on social media? So if you follow him, you're going to see a lot of content of his. If you like his podcast, you're going to listen to every episode. If you like him as a person, you might listen to him on guest shows. So you're getting a lot of Bert, a lot of these comedians in your ears on a daily basis. So I'm wondering if that affects your ability or my ability to laugh at them on stage, because sometimes you've heard the jokes before, you've heard the premise of them said already on the pod. I mean, it's hard to kind of figure out, are they funny on podcast only? Are they actually funny on stage, but you're kind of getting, you're kind of spoiled, and you're kind of getting inundated with all the, I don't know, it's just hard to take, because someone like a Theo Vaughn's a good example. Theo Vaughn, I feel like, is one of the legit funniest people within that Jerry extended universe, like actually like legit funny, but his stand-up specials aren't as good as him being on podcast at all. I don't think he's got one stand-up special that's as good as his appearance on podcast. He's got this one clip that he puts up. I think it's a clip of him the last time he did drugs, or the last time he kind of went crazy, when I think he left Joe Diaz's podcast. I think he did mushrooms, or he did something, and he went straight from Joe Diaz's place to doing a comedy set, and it might be one of the best ones ever done, like footage wise, like, as a clip. But all these specials don't come close to the little skits he's got with Brendan on The King and the Sting, the early appearances on The Fighter and the Kid, the early appearances of himself on his own show, the appearances on Rogan's show. Like, he's way funnier on podcast than ever on stage. And I wonder if it's because they just do the podcasting way more than they do actual stand-up. Like, in terms of time spent honing that kind of craft of being funny on those several platforms. I don't know, but this Bert Kreischer RAZZLE DAZZLE special was so bad, like ridiculously bad. Like, it made me question, it made me think, you know what? Watching this Bert Kreischer special made me understand why someone like Brendan has so much self-confidence, and even though it's delusional, in his stand-up. Because if you're watching that, how far really is Brendan from Bert Kreischer? Like, let's be real. I know that Brendan isn't that funny and there's no many jokes, but how far away really is he? If he actually would sit down and write and review his content, and maybe hire writers, and actually go on stage and perform in different places and do open mics, Brendan could reach Bert Kreischer's level of funny, in my opinion. He's not that far away. It's not that crazy. It's not like Bert is like, on Mount Rushmore of comedians or anything. Like, it was just like, Jesus Christos. But it maybe as well, it's one of those it's one of those things that's incredibly subjective in one way too. Like, what I find funny, maybe some of you guys won't find funny, and vice versa. So maybe stand-up is very hard to judge in that way, a review, because you have to kind of be into that person, into their kind of humor, to kind of laugh and get it. And if you don't get it, you just don't. And I think this is the example of it. Like, I don't know, man. I just couldn't. I was just watching it thinking, this is terrible. It's well produced. It looks amazing. There's clearly an effort gone into putting the jokes together. You can see they've been honed. There's tags all over the places. It's tight as hell. But in terms of actually making me laugh, zero. Like legit, I didn't laugh the entire 40 minutes that I watched it from the belly. I had a couple of chuckles here and there, a couple of smiles, and the one joke that did make me laugh was a throwaway kind of hacky reference or low-hanging fruit reference to Tom Segura. It was really weird, and for me personally, I have a real issue with the whole like painting your family as to be dumb type of routine thing. I just think it's a bit hacky. Also, it's a bit lame. It's obviously not true. And it just feels a little bit crass in my opinion. I don't know. I just didn't like it at all. I didn't like it in the slightest. And yeah, what can I rate this as? 5 out of 10? Maybe a 5 out of 10? Maybe 5? Maybe. But would I recommend it? Probably not. Did it hurt every part of my body to review that? Probably yes. It took ages to get through it. Honestly, it was horrible. It was horrible. So yeah, Bert Kreischer's Razzle Dazzle gets a 5.5 or 5, not even 5.5, a 5 out of 10 for me. Just not for me in the slightest. Honestly, I couldn't do it. Not for me in the slightest. Great guy, never met him. Moving on from that one, let's talk about this. Talking about specials. Oh, is it what? Richie says 2.5. God damn, that low. Actually, what do you guys think? Is my 5 too high? 2.5 is holy shit. Okay, I feel the same way about how Schultz just does crowd work based on public races. Its lowest common denominator comedy is too easy. Exactly, yeah. But making a promo, everything's too much. Shit, 2.5. Okay, cool. I think maybe I was being too generous. I said 5. God damn. Bert special is a 33 on rope. Oh yeah, true. Yeah, let me actually check that. What is it? Good point. Let's see what it is. Oh, is that right? Let's see, Rotten Tomatoes. Let's see what it is. Rotten Tomatoes. 2.5 with a handicap compared to other special. Jesus Christ. Okay, let's see. Hopefully they got the audience score, not the critics, because the critic scores are usually rubbish. Because he did say some racy jokes, and so maybe they didn't like it because of that. Something about them being white or something. His daughter's, boyfriend or something. Let's see what they say here. So the audience score, yeah, Jesus Christ, the audience score is 54%. God damn, son. Fuck me. To be fair, I think the other special was better, much better. Secret Time. Was it Secret Time he did? I think it's Secret Time, right? Bert Kreischer. I really enjoyed that. I thought that was much better. Comedy specials. I think Secret Time was way better than this. Way better than Razzle Dazzle. Razzle Dazzle was fucking terrible. What did he do? Was it Special Secret Time? I think it was Secret Time, right? People are saying 4, 2.5, 3.5. Jesus Christus. Okay, yeah. Yeah, okay, cool. So yeah. Am I right? See, yeah, see, look. Even the scores on IMDb reflect my estimation. Razzle Dazzle's got 6.8, which is not that high from 5. And Secret Time's got 7.3. And then the other one that people rate is obviously 7.6 is the Machine one. And Big Boy got 7. So yeah, Razzle Dazzle is definitely the worst one so far recently that he's done. Jesus Christ, man. But yeah, I don't know, man. Not for me personally. Not for me in the slightest. Not for me in the slightest. But one thing I am excited about, don't know if you guys agree, John Mulaney's back. John Mulaney's back. He's put down the blow and put down the booze and he's filmed a special and I'm here for it. I am here for it. I'm a big fan of his. I think he's actually really funny. He makes me laugh. Don't know if you guys agree. Maybe it's too normie and commercial for you guys, but I do like John Mulaney. It's a John Mulaney Baby J comedy special. Sets release date courtesy of Collido here, says he's back, baby. That's right, John Mulaney is finally back with a new stand-up comedy special. The new special will be released on Netflix starting on April 25th, 2023. Oh, wow, it's my birthday. Nice. This is John Mulaney's first stand-up comedy special in 5 years and the third comedy special on Netflix. Previously, John Mulaney released his breakout special, The Comeback Kid, in 2015. The Kid Goes in 2018. The streaming app also premiered John Mulaney's variety show, John Mulaney and the Sack Lunchback. And the Sack Lunch Bunch. Mulaney's long gap between stand-up specials doesn't mean that the comedian hasn't been keeping busy. However, in addition to his own work in stand-up comedy and variety shows, Mulaney is also a key part in the Netflix animated series The Big Mouth. Mulaney's also recently starred in Chip, Disney's Chip and Dale rescue film, and though the recent projects have been an animated project, he had also been hard at work at upcoming specials. But yeah, big fan of John Mulaney. I'm looking forward to seeing that. I can't wait to actually review this. This is actually going to be good, in my opinion. I hope so. I hope. Oh, really? You're just saying anyone that tells jokes suits. Okay, suits a turn off. Fair play. I get what you mean. It's a little bit self-absorbed, isn't it? I know what I mean, but I like it, man. I like him. I think he's funny. I think he's legitimately funny. Yeah, wow. First stand-up special in 5 years, so he's going to bring in the heat. Especially after all his, extramarital affairs and, the drugs and the drinking and the breakups and whatnot. I think it should be good. So I'm on it. I'm looking forward to John Mulaney's special that's happening April 25th. John Mulaney is back out in the streets. Next on list, this. What possesses a guy to go to a party, see a wheelchair at the top of the stairs, and push it down the stairs? Can someone tell me, please? It says here for TMZ Sports, NHL GM Daniel Bria's son pushes a wheelchair downstairs, issues apology. Who would do this? Why would you do this? Can someone explain why would you? Is this just like a kid's shit? Is he 21? Is he 18? Is he 19? Why would somebody do this? Honestly, it's so fucking R-worded. It says here, let's go to the original article. The son of Philadelphia Flyers interim GM, Daniel Briere, how you pronounce that word, ice hockey player Carson Briere has been accused of shoving a woman's wheelchair down the flight of stairs on the weekend. A woman's wheelchair. God almighty, man. This is worse than when flipping Elon Musk tried to fire that guy in a wheelchair. And try to accost him for not working hard enough when he's got actual disability. Anyway, over the weekend, and now cops say that they're investigating the matter. The incident was captured on the bar security camera at around midnight. In the footage, you can see two men walk up a staircase and notice a wheelchair sitting at the top of it. One of them identified as Brewer, wearing a backwards cap and dark colored sweatshirt, then sits in it before attempting to wheel it around. Eventually, Brewer gets out of the chair before pushing it down the stairs. The sitting in it, I can understand, right? I can understand the sitting in it. Just when you're drunk and you just want to fool around your friends. I understand sitting in a chair. But chucking it down the stairs is so excessive, in my opinion. Like, why would you do that? I love the arrows with the names. It's so snitchery, isn't it? There they are walking in. And this is funny as well. There's lots of girls at the party. There's lots of dudes. It looks kind of fun. Like wooden, like this wooden bar place. The sound reverberates quite well. TV screens all over the place. Beer flowing. Drinks going. People probably doing mad drugs in the toilets. Go and have some fun. Oh yeah, big up a story to tell. Thank you for the super chat.
I love your streams, bro. How do you have the discipline to stream every day? What advice? Is it easier with more reps?
Yeah, big up story to tell. Big up for the $5 super chat. Is it easier with more reps? Number one, if you've got any vices such as drugs and alcohol, don't do them during the week, because that will make sure that you're going to stream every day. So sack those off for the weekend. That helps. And also try and stream only stuff that you're actually interested in. So don't try and do stuff that you don't know anything about. I find it easy to do that. So I can ramble about stuff that I like, but stuff that I don't like, it's just hard to do it. You know what I mean? Like, that's what I think you should do. So focus on stuff that you do like, and I'll guarantee you, you'll just be flowing. You'll be in the zone. You won't find it hard. Topics will be coming in your head all the time. You'll be on the flow, doing boom, 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 boom. And suddenly you look around, it's like, rah, it's been 3 hours. Do you know what I mean? That's how easy to do. Of course, reps helps, but I really do think, sacking off the vices, and also making sure that you only talk about stuff that you actually know about intimately and that you could just riff off of, you know, kind of stuff that you can talk about with your friends without having a laptop or anything. I think that really works out, in my opinion. But yeah, these guys are at a party. They see girls, they see drinks. There's probably drugs everywhere. There's probably some good little bar snacks happening. Maybe some, you know, some nachos, some chips and stuff. Some nice little niblets, right? Maybe some chicken nuggets. I don't know. And instead of indulging in all that stuff, they want to chuck a wheelchair user's chair down the flipping stairs. Horrible. There they are, looking sketchy. Backwards hat. Clearly going to cause an issue. I think a backwards hat should be a signaler of a bad person, of a troublemaker, the same way people think black guys in hoodies are troublemakers. If you see a white dude in a backwards hat, clean shaven, be careful. Be very, very careful. He may do something really bad. So if you're scared of black guys in alleyways wearing hoodies, you should also be scared of white kids, clean shaven, fresh face with a backwards cap, in my opinion. There they go. They're discussing who's got the MDMA. Someone's saying, so he just finger blasted a girl in the toilet, smell my finger. Say, no, don't worry, dude, pushed him away. He thinks it's so funny to jump on there. Look, people are dancing. People have their hands in the air. Look at this girl. She's giving it everything. They're all dancing. They're having a rave. And these kids are literally obsessed with the wheelchair. Look at them. What is this? Who raised these children? Who raised them? Go and party, man. Get something to dance on, you know what I mean? Look at them. Look how bad and how hard they feel. Look at how tough they feel. Look at their faces. Can you see their faces? Look how hard they feel. Look. Dude. So, horrible, man. Anyway, let's see the update. The update on it says as follows. Let's read it from the top to the bottom. It says here, Carson Bryan has admitted to pushing the wheelchair down the stairs. Deeply sorry for my behavior on Saturday. If he blames his mental health, if he tries to blame his mental health, I'm going to scream. If he tries to blame his mental health, I'm going to scream. There's no excuse for my actions. Okay, good. The college hockey player said in a statement to TFG Sports, I will do whatever I can to make up to this serious lack of judgment. What's he gonna do? Volunteer his time to like the local wheelchair association or something? Or he's gonna give them he's gonna buy 100 wheelchairs and donate them to the hospital. Daniel Bryan meanwhile said that he was shocked by his son's actions. Come on, Dad, don't throw your son under the bus or under the wheelchair. They're inexcusable and run completely counter to our family's values on treating people with respect. Carson is very sorry and accepts full responsibility for his behavior. Again, imagine raising your kid right, actually doing everything you can to raise your kid with some level of decency and manners, and the first thing they do is push a wheelchair. Oh my God. Anyway, Mercyhurst University, what a name for a university, Mercyhurst, just released another statement on the matter, and it doesn't seem, at least right now, Carson will face punishment from the school. Oh, that's been excessive, man. The actions displayed in the video make our hearts heavy. You know what's funny about this? Of course they're not going to kick him out of school. His dad's probably giving them loads of money. Like, what do they think is going to happen? He said, the actions displayed in the video make our hearts heavy and fall short of Mercy's belief in the inherent dignity of each person, as long as they got money to pay our exorbitant university fees. We pray for and are in solidarity with the victim and all the persons with disability who rightfully find our actions like this to be deeply offensive. This is so dramatic. Relax, please, okay? He pushed a wheelchair down the stairs. He didn't push a wheelchair person down the stairs or a disabled. That would be extra. If you actually pushed a disabled person down the stairs, that's crazy. But there was no one in it. Let's relax. Our mercy tradition also reminds us that students and all people who make poor choices deserve opportunities to learn, change behaviors, and atone for harmless education. Yo, is Merciful a Christian university? Why are they talking about praying all the time? Yo, big up Austin for being a bigger member. Yes, Austin KC. Big up the membership. Appreciate you, man. Big up the members. Get the members in. Members in. Is this Mercy University of Christian? Is it Christian? Is it Christian? Why are they talking about praying all the time? What's this going? Who goes to Christian universities? Okay, there we go. Campus Ministry, locus of for spiritual development. Okay, is Mercy Curse a Christian? By our granddad in the Catholic tradition, and he went to a Catholic university and he threw a wheelchair down the stairs. It gets better. Heritage, we support all faith traditions. Okay. Oh my God. Mercy University fees. Let's see what the fees are at this place. Oh, that's fucking incredible. Oh my God. 27,000. You guys pay 27,000 for university. Nearly 30. Is that per year? Oh my God. No way. No way. Hold on. What? No way. 27,000. Are you fucking nuts? What? Okay, let's go on. No, that can't be right. That can't be right. 27,000. And he's pushing wheelchairs down the stairs. Holy shit. Holy shit. They've got a MacBook and the flipping artwork from the thumbnail of the school, so they definitely got money, yeah? Okay, cool. Oh, what's up? Why is that mascot some weird white looking guy? What's happening there? Huh? Where's the mascot? Born in Dublin. Okay, weird. Okay, so basic tuition fee. Undergraduate students are billed on a flat basis each semester, meaning full semester students enrolled in 12 to 18 credit hours are billed the same rate. This allows students to easily pursue a double major. Yeah, all right. Double major, mate. I'm doing one double major. Basic tuition, 41,000. Oh my God. No fucking way. Average cost per price, average net price, tuition fees, housing, and fuck me. Holy shit, yo. No wonder some of you guys don't bother going to college and go straight to work. I wouldn't bother in America. If I was American, I wouldn't even bother going to college. Fuck that shit. I'm getting a vocation straight away, mate. Give me a trade. Give me a trade. Let me start working straight away. God almighty, that is insane. No, thank you. Give me a trade. Electrician, handyman, plumber, I don't care. Plus, like, give me a trade straight away. No way I'm flipping going to school for this and then having to fucking gamble with my fucking jobs. Oh, imagine doing this, right? Imagine going to this school. Imagine going to fucking Mercy. It's obviously won't happen because I think this is a private university and they're probably going to give you some introductions to people, right? But imagine you're unlucky and you go to this fucking place, right? And then you end up graduating with a pretty good, decent grade, and then you end up working in Subway. Just imagine how angry you would feel. Busting your ass, studying for 3 to 5 years, paying all these fucking fees, you know, and then essentially ending up in fucking Subway. Can you imagine how demoralizing that must be? I'd rather start off at Subway straight away from college. Fuck it. Just go straight there, work my way up, become like an area manager of Subway or something. That'd be pretty cool, right? Or maybe, you know, end up having your own little Subway franchise. But graduating from uni to work part-time at Subway would kill me. Would kill me, man. Would kill me. It would kill me. But yeah, holy shit, man. Kids are fucking awful. Imagine paying your kids student fees and they go and do that. Whew. Anyway, what are we in? We're already an hour in, innit? We're an hour in already. Yeah, over an hour. Cool. Let's get to the main piece of resistance. Let's get to the Brendan stuff because I've been stalling too long on here. And this stuff is still buffering a lot, and I've got to turn it back up to normal before later on. But anyway, let's go. Bear me a second as this loads, and let's head into the finishing the rest of the fight and the kid stuff. I think that's pretty interesting to finish that. So let's go. Get up on here. Bear with me one sec. What you said? Play the heart of the. Nah, no way. Eddie D. No way. No way. No more George Janko music. No. You guys tricked me before. I'm not being tricked again. You can't trick me. You can't trick me no more. You can't trick me. I'm not, no way. No fucking way. You guys got me the first time with that George Janko shit. You're not getting me again. I was like, who's this George Janko? He make pop music. My ears have never bled so much in my entire life. I'm not doing it again. Anyway, next. Who here is still wearing face masks? I thought this was fucking wild. Jessica Chastain sitting at the Oscars wearing a face mask. Who still has face masks? Do you wear them any time? The only time I wore mine is when I went to the airport. One time I had a cold and I just didn't want to keep, I just used it as it's kind of gross, but it's like a face tissue essentially. So I didn't have to keep wiping my nose all the time when I was sneezing because my allergies were playing up when I went on the plane. But who still wears their face mask? Like on a day-to-day basis. I thought this was kind of like, it's weird because it felt like, people say on the subway, unless I'm in a store made me. Okay, cool. Okay, people are saying subway store. She got botched plastic surgery. I bet it's hilarious. It's the truth. Maybe she's immune compromised. Yeah, true. Many people do. Yeah, I see the people I see often still wearing face masks, especially in airports, are Asian people. But I think if you remember correctly, Asian people were always wearing face masks even before the pandemic, and we also always looked at them like weirdos. Why are they wearing these masks? And then it became normal. It's really interesting how quickly now, because everyone stopped wearing them, now face masks look weird again. There's a period where they didn't look weird. Now if you see somebody down the street wearing a face mask just walking around, it looks really bizarre. It looks kind of interesting. But the only people I see wearing face masks for sure in the area that I'm in are really older women, like grandmas and stuff. They usually wear masks. And I see loads of Asian people at airports. That's the only ones I've seen. And obviously that one time when I had a cold or I had my bad allergies and I was wearing mine because I didn't want to keep blowing my nose all the time a million times and stuff. So I had a little bit of a shield and stuff. And I think it's just it's quite good manners as well. If you've got a cold to have, it actually should be a thing people should do in general. If you've got a cold, don't come into work. Number one, don't force it and try and tough it out. And number two, wear a face mask if you are going to be around people. So just so you know, it's like a courtesy type of thing. And it's a signal to people that you're sick so that people don't come near you too tough. I think that's quite a nice thing to do, in my opinion anyway. People saying here, what? She has a chronic illness is my best guess, or it's just work. Okay, cool, yeah. Okay, people are saying the same thing. Space guy say allergies. Now I promise, that's the thing with me, right? I'm actually not the best person to be partaking in stuff like ket and stuff. I really shouldn't be doing it. What you call it? Because even beer as well, I have this weird, I don't know what I've got. I don't know if it's like a yeast thing, but what you call it? I have like a weird allergic reaction sometimes to some beer. I don't know if some guys of you have this. I don't know what that is. I have definitely an allergic reaction to some. I don't know if it's the yeast in it or something, but some stuff doesn't really sit right with me and end up sneezing all the time. So, but yeah, what can you do? It is what it is. Anyway, moving on. Let's get to the flipping pièce de résistance. Yeah, that's it, gluten. That's it, gluten. Maybe it's gluten. Yeah, that is. Mr. Singer's right. I think it's gluten. I don't even know what I'm fucking allergic to. That's how you know I'm chatting shit. But anyway, let's move on. Let's talk about let's talk about this quickly because I uploaded the clip. So, did you guys see the clip I uploaded with Joe Rogan talking to Bert Kreischer about the George Lopez v. Ralph Barbosa flipping beef? I thought that was pretty funny and pretty interesting because I feel like Joe was being way more charitable to George Lopez, even though what George Lopez said about Ralph Barbosa was really unprovoked and seemed very mean-spirited. It came from like a really dark, jealous place. Whereas Joe's making it seem like, oh, it was a misunderstanding. He probably didn't hear it. The other guy was mentioning his name too much. It was getting on his nerves. I know he's making loads of excuses. Maybe because they're friends. That's probably why. But I felt like George Lopez was hating, just plain old hating, which, you know, you're allowed to do, but it did come across super gross. But this is Joe Rogan essentially kind of standing up for George Lopez, even though you found out about the beef at last. You know, it's funny.
Oh, wow.
We got a fucking sick lineup. Fucking look at this. Look at this.
That's
fucking
amazing.
Tiffany Haddish.
That's amazing.
Jim Norton.
That's amazing.
Jay Farrow. Rosebud. Ralph Barbosa. Dude.
That's amazing.
Yeah, this fucking lineup is.
I just found out about Ralph Barbosa. He's a funny dude.
He's real funny.
I watched some of his clips, and then I found out that there was some sort of a thing with George Lopez. And then so I had the little bitch in me started watching some.
I watched it all too.
Some fucking beef with George Lopez and Ralph Barbosa. That shit makes me sad. I don't like that stupid shit like that.
I don't like beef.
I don't like nonsense beef. Like that's the dumbest kind of beef. Like some young guy coming up beef. Like you don't like.
It's hard not to like nonsense beef when Brendan is the #1 generator of flipping nonsense beef, isn't it? Brendan is the content generator of nonsense beef. He seems to attract it, mate, like a moth to a flame. But he's a positive guy. He's the best guy, the greatest guy, beast of a friend, great guy, never met him.
I think it's just a misunderstanding, and I think Lopez called him up and.
Oh, did he?
Yeah. I guess they talked on the phone or something like that. It's hilarious that I know about this silly comedy beef, but. Dude, he's funny. Anyway, Barbosa's a funny dude. Got a funny, laid-back style.
I think it's just generational. You're talking about, like, I think George Lopez is, like, even older than Ralph's parents, probably. And so it's just two different styles of what you would say Mexican comedy is.
I don't think that's what it is. I think it's just that George didn't know who he was.
Oh, really?
And, yeah, like Steve Trevino was on a show, and George had brought him up. George brought Barbosa up, and he's like, who the fuck is that guy? You keep bringing him up. Nobody knows who that dude is.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
I just saw Schultz saying someone went up to Barbosa and he was like, fuck George Lopez.
Yeah, I think that's what it was. I think it came from him saying something on a podcast. But I think he was just annoyed with Trevino bringing the dude's name up over and over again for whatever reason. I don't know.
He's funny as shit.
Yeah, he's funny.
He's funny as fucking shit.
Yeah, it's, you know, that's nothing bothers me more than like. And I don't think that's what he was doing. I think it was just like, who is that guy? Like, I don't know who that guy is.
Yeah.
I don't think it was like, I don't like that guy. I think he just genuinely didn't know who he was. But nothing bothers me more than like those old dudes that don't like the young guys coming up. They don't like the fact that young guys are coming up. Because I remember being.
Isn't it weird that he says this type of stuff? So he's basically saying what we all saw, which was George Lopez hating on a guy that's younger, getting all the accolades, and having a bit of, you know, heat behind his name, and maybe being the heir to his throne or something, right? It's whatever. Old guy getting annoyed by the young guy taking over. It's a tale old as time. So he saw what we saw, but he's trying to force himself not to see it and not to say it. But then he says it in the end, which makes me think, theory time here, theory time. People who go above and beyond not to gossip and not to talk bad about people, because they're trying to be this like walking bastion of like positivity, and everyone's like, I don't know, this weird like comedy Gandhi thing, probably behind closed doors is one of the biggest gossipers and haters of known to man, because he's so hell bent on making sure he doesn't say anything bad on camera. Behind the scenes, Joe must say the worst shit about people. It would have surprised me. He lays into people like super hard, but in front of camera, you'll play nice. I help everybody. I'm the Mother Teresa, or the, you know, the male Oprah of this scene. You get a career, you get a career, you get a career. But behind closed doors, that guy sucks. That guy's awful. He should quit. She's shit. Did you hear that joke? Did you see that? Did you see that? Like, I've got a tiny feeling, because Joe tries too hard, man. He tries too hard to do this whole, you know, I don't see this stuff, I don't see that stuff, positive thing. It's just a bit weird to me. Again, I could be wrong.
Being in that young guy position, I'm like, you old cunt. Like, you fucking dummy. Like, I'm never going to be like you one day. One day, like, if I get to your position, I'm going to be very welcoming for the young people.
Yeah.
It's so stupid. Like, but it's like a closed door once you go through it. That's it. Nobody else in. No more funny, no more comedians, no one else is famous, just me. Forever and ever and ever.
It was like that. It was like that back then, too.
Stingy cunts.
Yeah.
Got that fucking this weird thing that people have, or they just want to be the only one that gets the attention. It's so strange, man. It's so strange. That like the fucking fierce jealousy that some people have when other people start to make it.
Yeah.
It's so dumb.
You didn't have that. And I think you blessed us with not having it.
That's one thing he has to give credit for. I think Joe Rogan does deserve credit for being, because this is the thing I love about Joe Rogan. Because even, you know, I think he's got his dodgy parts. I still think, like, if anybody else was Joe Rogan in that comedy scene, they wouldn't be as nice and as charitable as he is. If anybody else in that scene was as popular as he was, they would not be as nice and as charitable and as open and as willing to collaborate. Like, they wouldn't do it. So I think he's the only person that could do it. He has his faults. It's like Elon Musk is the same thing. He's a bit of a wally online, but overall he's going to help humanity. Yeah, you have to just accept that he's going to be, you know, annoying. He's going to say dumb shit. He's going to pretend like he knows everything when he doesn't. I mean, he's just got his faults. But overall, for the sake of humanity, I think he's going to be a net positive. Same with Rogan. I think for comedy, he kind of set the standard. So they all can't be like, I think a lot of them kind of, this is probably why a lot of us kind of found it difficult to maybe connect with them sometimes. I feel like a lot of them try and hide how much of a piece of shit they are because Joe Rogan isn't a piece of shit despite him being way richer and way famous. So they can't act up and be Hollywood and be divas because Rogan, who's far more famous and far more successful, far more clouted up and noteworthy and whatnot and in demand, isn't that way. So they kind of have to temper and hold in their piece of shitness inside. But it sometimes does come out because, you know, sometimes you can't pretend to be someone that you're not, you know, until the end of time. It just is what it is. But I also feel like he's the only person that could have done the job. Only person. I think if you would have given that power to anybody else in the industry, they would be horrible. Horrible. Oh, but yeah, look, I don't know. I'm buffering too much, man. I think I might have to restart the stream and start again. I know I might lose some of you guys, but I think this might be for the best because it feels like I'm buffering loads. I'm looking at myself on my phone and it feels like I'm like stuttering. Or am I bugging out? Am I stuttering a lot? And the videos look like they like, look. I need to flipping update the up the bit rate. Rogan is a height civilian. Height civilian. Oh. Looks fine to me, says Coiler. I don't know, I'm just like stuttering a lot. Now you good. Okay. Looks fine here. Alright, cool. If hopefully no one hopefully get break. Hopefully no one complains when I put that the restream get break. How dare you? No, I'm clean, man. I'm clean. I'm nice and clean. I've actually got a green juice there ready to squeeze. Okay, cool. Alright, cool. Moving on. So, why I think this is true and why I think this is funny what Joe Rogan said, and I think he's trying to basically, what's to do? The chat is not loading here. Let's do it again. I think it's hilarious how Joe is being very what am I doing? The wrong thing. I think it's hilarious how Joe is being very charitable with the George Lopez thing, because George was hating really hard on Ralph Barbosa and it just came unwarranted. And I think this is a good example to tell, because let's watch the actual video where George Lopez basically, you know, gets at Ralph Barbosa randomly because, I don't know, he's young and successful. I think it's absolutely hilarious. Let's play it. I'll give you one moment. Just say nine to get nine. Nay, it should be 9 because, you know, out there in Berlin sometimes the kick is a bit crazy. But anyway, let's continue. Let's go to the start. I think this video is hilarious because George Lopez definitely was hating super hard on flipping Ralph Barbosa here. It's absolutely hilarious.
Do you, and then now you got to go up and do you?
Everybody that I used.
Am I right or wrong?
You're 100%. Everybody that I used that was Latino or say, you know, of color, eventually started to inherit some of my traits in the way that they talked, in the names that they used, and in the sense of their delivery. And I would look at Ann and I would go, there's another one, because they would have the same cadence that I had that they didn't have until they started working with me.
Come on, George, mate. Fucking hell, the ego in this lad. The ego in this fucking lad, mate. God almighty.
But it's also hard because for us, I always laugh when, you know, these young black comics, they go, oh my God, this young black comic, he does.
Whoa. He said black with a bit too much emphasis on the B there. All right? Or was it me? He said black with a bit too much emphasis on the B. Feeling a little bit uncomfortable. I'm not going to lie. Relax, my guy. Relax, okay?
All these great impressions of these famous black people.
Hey.
And I go, well, I don't have any famous Latinos to do impressions of.
Yeah.
But George and Paul. That's it. I got 2. So, of course, I'm not going to be a good impressionist.
You're a good Paul.
Hey, you know what? Hey, sometimes, ¿sabes qué, Vato?
Sound like
You
him.
know,
Yeah.
I'm so tired of George Lopez, bro.
He is tired of me.
But it is, you know, for me, I thought to myself, I will never.
I'm so tired of George Lopez. Como se dice, tired of this old leather-faced cunt.
Never be able to do what this man does as good as him. It's impossible. I was born in fucking 78. He's walking on stage in 78.
Yeah.
How the fuck am I going to catch up to this guy?
But I think maybe I wasn't always the most helpful individual back then. But what I have done is I've left a template on how to do shit. And then it's somebody's duty to go and do it.
Ah, he's one of those cunts. You know those kind of horrible dads are like, you know, you know those kind of dads that they say they don't give their kids any sort of like love and affection. They just kind of operate as merely the breadwinner of the house. They're just robots basically. And then on TV shows, when the kids confront them later on in life, like, hey, you never even kissed me, you never hugged me, never said I love you, and they're like, but I showed you how to be a man by going to work, and you know, that kind of like, bro, like, did you have a heart? Did you have feelings? Like, what's wrong with you? That sounds like what George Lopez was doing, isn't it? He was a cunt to everybody. Oh God.
Exactly.
Correct.
And
Exactly.
that's the legacy. Is I left the legacy for guys to follow the fucking crumbs that the path that was there.
You crack the door. It's our job to kick it open.
Go get it.
Don't blame me for what he didn't give me. Get up off your ass and do it.
Well, I've changed.
It's that simple. You had to do it.
Look at you guys in the chat trying to cuss my Spanish, man. Mi español es muy malo. Okay? Mi hablas español un poquito. Big up Duolingo. El elefante es muy grande.
Do it without somebody leading you, and now it's.
But it is up to us to you know, the Ralph Barbosas of the world to turn around and go, hey man, I want to make the path for you easy.
But nobody knows who that motherfucker is. What are you saying his name, man?
Look, I think he's great, and I'm doing
that
it
wrong to say, Aaron?
I'm doing exactly what I'm preaching is.
What do you mean you don't
can
know?
we bring this kid up? Right?
Have you heard of him?
You see? This is hating. He's asking other people to join in. Have you heard of Ralph Barbosa? And he's putting pressure on them. How about if the kid back on the screen says, yeah, it's actually my screensaver? It's actually my wallpaper? How would he react?
Okay. Is it wrong for me to say, why do you keep bringing his name up and nobody knows who he is?
Yeah, it is wrong. It means you're hating, brother.
And I don't mean it mean. I'm saying.
The man on the payroll.
No,
hey, whatever you say.
I mean, but
Exactly.
you look out for yourself. That's what we look out for yourself.
But I also want to look out for others. And I also
Jesus Christ, George Lopez. It's actually kind of refreshing. I'm not going to lie. I think to be fair, I think all these comedians think like George Lopez, George Lopez, G Lopez, all right? I think they all think like him, but they hide it and they try and pretend like they're Rogan. Yeah, I help everybody, man. I'm everybody's friend. But I think they all say this behind closed doors. They just don't admit it on the podcast because, you know, they try to pretend that the podcast is like the great equalizer when, you know, not all podcasts are created equally and some people are poor and some people are rich.
want to make the path
I don't think
easier.
that's a right.
You know,
I don't think that's the right thing.
What?
I look out for myself and my family, of course, but I also want to make the path easier for the next guy.
You know what? I think that's...
You don't think so?
I don't.
No, I really don't. You made the path. You've got to secure that path. You're not helping him if you're making the path easier for him.
There you go.
He's got to make his own path. He's got to make
and
it
not
right.
even Ralph. I don't know who he is.
And I don't.
So what you got to do? Do you have to not give them numbers? Do you have to not like recommend them to other clubs? If they call you, you don't pick up the phone. What do you mean make it harder? Fucking hell, mate. These guys are haters with a capital H. Holy shit.
Want to make him suffer.
At least with us, if we don't like these guys, we just don't listen to what they play. They're like openly admitting that they sabotage other comedians' careers because they have to also go through the hardships that they went through. That's what they're openly admitting to. We openly admit to sabotaging.
But you're
Fetty lost boomers. I love that.
not doing them anything by making it easier.
I disagree. I mean, you look at Richard Pryor, who championed Eddie Murphy, who, you know, when Eddie Murphy walks into...
I don't think he did.
He did. And when Eddie Murphy walks into ABC and says, hey, that's fucking Earthquake, I think he's fucking great, he needs an opportunity, I don't see anything wrong with that. I think that that's a good look, and I think that it helps.
Look at the silence. Oh my God. This is weirdly refreshing, but this is also unsettling. These guys are like category #1 haters. First of the line. All-star haters, mate. First pick. First draft pick haters. Shit.
You know,
you putting me on this show helps me.
But also, if you don't deliver, I can't help you.
I don't disagree. Of course.
Like, if you can deliver...
Do the work. I don't help those that don't help themselves.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And that becomes the thing.
But like I said, I don't help those that don't help themselves. I'm looking for that young guy that's working hard, that's trying to make it. If I can get him to open...
Ooh, I'm looking for that young guy. Pause, my guy. Pause. Young guy. Hard B on the blacks. Looking a bit sussy for you out here, mate. I'm looking for them young guys. The blacks.
But you're fucking trying to make it. Like, why are you trying to help some dude that's trying to make it? Like, you need to make it.
I made it. Life's good.
So you don't want to go any higher than where you are right now?
Of course I want to go higher. Of course. And I'm going to continue to go higher.
I'm not in the business, but if you want to go higher, then I would believe, just like in anything else, every other aspect
well,
of
if you're
life,
not in the business, why
you
you
got to
concentrate?
You got to concentrate on making yourself. You want to go higher?
Look, 1,000%.
Then concentrate on yourself, making yourself higher.
Of course, and I'm on stage.
Pray for these guys' wives or husbands or boyfriends. As long as I get off, what else do you want from me? I got off, you get up on yourself. Like, God damn it, man. God damn it.
Every single day, getting better, getting stronger, getting funnier.
If that's what's gonna make you
I will say something about you. First of all, I don't think you should be worried about anybody else. Especially
some Gordo who's not in the business.
Jeremy Barbosa. Come on. Jeremy Barbasol. That's his name.
Oh my God. He called him Jeremy Barbosa. You know his fucking name, you fucking leather-faced cunt. Anyway, George Lopez said, Rap Barbosa did say George Lopez apologized. Let's see the apology here. This is a clip taken from Andrew Schultz's podcast. Yeah, innit? Who hurt you, George? Exactly. God damn it, this guy.
Because George Lopez taught us.
Nah. He's like nice. I'm telling you, the dude called me after that whole thing. He said, "Whatever." I wasn't mad when he said it. Yeah. Cause like I'm telling you, I have like a whole lot of respect for him still. I'm not when he said it, I'm not like, what the fuck, like hurt about it. But I also wasn't like, oh yeah, who cares? It just was like, it's a fucking podcast. You're talking shit. Like, yeah. So what if he said it? You know what I mean? Like, he doesn't know me, so like, it's his.
He knows you, my boy.
But it's his podcast. Like,
you don't say I don't know somebody 5 times unless you know him.
Yeah, unless you know him. But yeah, he called me and he was like super cool. I was kind of like starstruck by it, to be honest, because I wasn't expecting it. But,
how did he call it? Was he like? No. Tell me about the call. What happened?
He was just like, he's like, hey, Ralph, this is George, man, George Lopez. I was like, I wanted to call and apologize. And my first words was like, what the fuck? And I was like, my bad, man. I didn't mean to be like rude or nothing. It's just like.
Isn't that the worst thing, actually? Somebody openly hating on you and then calling you and saying they didn't mean what they said. No, you meant what you said, mate. You fucking meant what you said. Sorry, you did mean it. That's actually worse. I'd rather you just stand in your hate than try and come back around and say, you know, I misspoke. I was, it was out of context. It's like, nah, we've seen all of it. You called him Jeremy Barbosa. You know his fucking name.
Damn, it kind of caught me off guard, you know, that he's even calling me. And he was just like, yeah, man. He's like, I was kind of like in the heat of the moment where they're just kind of shooting the shit with Trevino and kind of fired up about it. But I didn't mean to like talk badly about you or anything like that. Like just kind of talking shit, you know, like, but I apologize. I was like, you didn't have to, man. I was like, I appreciate that a lot. Like you really didn't have to, you know, it's not like.
He's got them raccoon eyes though, isn't it, no? Rap Barbosa, he's got them raccoon eyes, right? Remember that song? With those raccoon eyes.
Bugging me like that. He was like, no. He's like, I did. I had to, whatever. He's like,
that's decent, though, that he didn't do a public apology.
Yeah, I wouldn't have. I don't think it had to be public at all. A lot of people online were like, you slander him in public, you apologize in public. Nah, bro. Like, then it would have looked like he's just doing it for the
them,
people.
not for you.
Yeah, he was just like, he's like, comic to comic, man to man. He's like, I just want to apologize, man. Yeah. He's like, you got my number. If you ever did need help with anything, you got my number now.
Whoa.
Okay, fair play. At least he did apologize. You know, it does say something about him that he apologized, but the hate was so strong. The hate was so strong. Like, I've never seen hate that way displayed in the podcast that vividly and that aggressively. It's absolutely quite disturbing. I'm not going to lie. It was actually a little bit disturbing. But at least he did apologize. It does go a long way to somewhat vindicate him. I'm not going to lie, but god damn, these comedians are fucking awful behind each other's backs, on it. Really are. And just imagine what they say behind each other's back. Just imagine the things that they actually say behind each other's back. Just imagine. Can you imagine? Can you? God damn it, I can't. I really can't imagine. But yeah, big up them. Big up them. Yeah, exactly. Jeremy Barbosa, exactly. Gladness. He's hating so hard. It's absolutely horrendous how much he was hating. Oh my god. But hold on, one sec. I want to play because I want to play this clip. Okay, all my things are reloading. I don't like how it's reloading. Let me see here. Hopefully it loads up again. Bear with me a second while this loads. I want to play this clip as well that features Bert Kreischer talking about performing at ROGAN'S club at the beginning of the Joe Rogan Experience. I thought this was really good. So this is a pretty fun clip because I think I've spoken it before, obviously, about Joe Rogan's comedy club opening, the comedy mothership. But I thought this is a really nice and wholesome clip because for a minute, it felt like Joe was about to cry. He was getting really emotional. And it really made me think about, you know, how amazing it must be to be someone like Joe who's clearly, even if you don't find him funny, he's clearly super, super, super passionate and loving of flipping stand-up. It's legitimately his number one thing. And the fact that he still does it now, even though he's flipping got more money than God and you can kind of retire and not do anything forever and he'll be fine, it clearly means that he loves it. And he obviously, to get himself involved with running a club and all that stuff must be difficult too, but he does it purely out of the love as well. And he got really emotional talking about, you know, Bert Kreischer basically headlining his comedy club, which was interesting. Let's play the clip.
I woke up What a great fucking night last night.
Fuck yeah, it was.
Dude, I'm telling you, I woke up bubbling.
Yeah, I felt so good. And last night was my first time in a managerial position. Like, I just came to hang out, make sure everything ran smooth for your show. It was wild. Like, to be at my own club where one of my best friends is headlining and all my other friends are opening for him. I'm like, this is amazing.
It was a pretty fucking sick lineup. I'm like, this is what's crazy.
Incredible.
If you said this 10 years ago, in Austin, Texas, the lineup that was on last night was insane.
We've been doing that a lot, though. That's what's crazy. Like, these Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday shows that we've been doing out here, they're just stacked.
Dude, and then let's just say, highlight of my career, they're chanting The Machine. And I go, I'm not going to tell it. And they start cheering it. And I go, all right, I'll tell it if Ron White tells his tater salad story.
And then he comes on the stage.
People didn't even know he was up there.
Yes.
They go fucking crazy. He walks on stage. I FaceTime Leanne, who's like Ron's her favorite comic. Guy in the front row is recording Tom telling Taters or shooting Leanne watching it.
Yeah. It was amazing.
So yeah, I found that was really cool, and it kind of made me inspired because I feel like, you know what, I really one day want to open my own nightclub, really do, because I really do feel like I could do it the right way, and I could obviously be a lot more friendlier, I think, than some of these other club owners that I've met over the years. But I'm also wondering if maybe just owning those things does corrupt you eventually. Like, will eventually Rogan just have to end up being like a bit of a dick because you're dealing with, you know, club land, you're in nightlife, you're in hospitality, you're going to be crossing paths with loads of pieces of shit. Does the industry corrupt you eventually? Because I've met so many club owners, and again, not comedy clubs but nightclubs, but so many of them who are just pieces of shit, and it makes it hard for you to go. I don't know, man. But it really did get me a little bit inspired to open my own club, nightclub especially. That'd be a ridiculous, amazing thing to do, and just flip and book myself to play every single week. That'd be amazing. That would be so good. Book myself to play every single week. Forget you, Mashoplex. Forget you, Svenvar. Forget you, Diplo. I'm the headliner. I'm the headliner now. You know, this is my ship. I'm the headliner. That's what I would do. But yeah, guys, this stream is being too laggy and glitchy on my phone. I can't handle this. The video looks awful, so I'm gonna stop this and restart this and up the flipping bit rate. So I do apologize. Please just keep an eye on my channel, and the chat and the stream will come back again. I'll literally be 2 minutes, but I need to restart this. It's not good. It's kind of choppy on my side. I can see the video here. It's lagging a lot, and I want to do the Brendan stuff really good, and I don't want it to look awful. So please bear with me as I put the settings back to what they were before, and we will be back.